let's start with this. This is Dumb Grunt. This is a story written by me. I deployed to Afghanistan in 2010 and wrote like a little bit while I was out there. Came back and I made it into like a fiction novel based on true events, loosely. The reason I did this is kind of therapy. Why not? It starts in 2010 in Afghanistan during a summer surge, goes to the VA 5 years later during a deployment, and enters like a third kind of middle part that gives it from the perspective of the Taliban. There's no quotations. It's kind of there's no quotations, so it's more descriptive about what they're saying and how they're talking to each other. But it's written from the perspective of this kid named Rashid, whose uncle is a Taliban commander, and he's part of their squad until the squad gets killed by the Americans. And anyway, this is a part where he goes, and after he escapes, he meets up with some kids that are like runaways because they don't want to get raped, and become like chai boys. Chai boys are something that are like little slave boys that would be in places and not good. And they raped them, and they would just dispose of them and get the next kid. It's very sad. And yeah, they also had like Bacha Bazi, but hold on, let's check up on that Bacha Bazi. I mean, who am I to judge, but that's not good. Anyway, this part of the story, the boys were Bacha Bazi boys, and they escaped, and that's how they became like runaways. So I just kind of want to expand on that a little bit while I have a little chance and stuff. So let's start it off. It's called Rashid Part 3. There's Part 1, Part 2. There's only 3 parts. It doesn't take over the whole story. It's just a little flavor on, in between. The sounds of dogs. In the distance startles Rashid awake. From his deep sleep. His eyes open to a desolate cave in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of nowhere. A desolate cave. Far away from the Taliban. Americans and Afghan soldiers. It was beyond the river. Beyond dense woods and snuggle in between. There wasn't that many mountains and caves in Helmand province, so like maybe like an underground cave, like something like ancient or something. Let's go with something not complicated, like an ancient temple that they just chill in. His in a desolate. Eyes open to a desolate cave far away. That feels far away from the Taliban, Americans, and Afghan soldiers. It was an underground cave beyond the river, beyond the river, in some dense woods. And some dense woods between Afghanistan and Pakistan that neither side paid attention to. The cave itself felt much older than anyone there could comprehend. Okay? It was neat. It was neat and clean. And as clean as it could be. The walls are lined with walls. And walls. And with walls. Lined with a variety of guns and ammunition. Guns, grenades, and ammunition from different nations. Rashid learned of this cave from 4 runaway boys. 4 boys. He would see from time to time in passing. They would also be stealing corn and chickens from local farmers. And they would see each other. But not speak. But neither Rashid or the boys wanted to make another. The boys stayed away from soldiers and people from all sides of the conflict, but told Rashid if he ever wanted to escape, he had a refuge with them in their cave, and even gave him directions to it. They also added if he brought any adults, they would kill him. 2 brothers slept on the same blanket, holding his hands like twins in the womb. The other 2 were the same age as Rashid and slept on separate blankets, but still within arm's reach of each other and their rifles. All had escaped from the same Bacha Bazi party months earlier. Almost a year. Months. They had been forced to consume opium and dress like girls. They were unlucky and had not grown facial hair and kept lucky and had not grown facial hair, which only turned on the local Taliban and police officers even more. Only the youngest one had left. Only the youngest one had not been raped. Kind of obvious, but I don't want to be so. Only the youngest one had not been raped. There's got to be a nice nuanced way of saying that. Maybe the opposite. The youngest one had it worse. He was a cute. He was an attractive. Not an attractive. He was a handsome. He was a handsome boy. Was gray with green eyes. And had a natural innocence. That was natural innocence. That was palpable around him. What was it? The youngest one had it worse. He was a handsome boy with green eyes and had natural innocence that was palpable. Unfortunately, the men loved the most. They're fucking weird, man. I don't know. I guess that's what happens. I don't know. I don't want to say that's what happens when you repress people. I can't imagine fucking doing that to kids, man. I mean, that's crazy, dude. Even in a situation like that, it just seems like, what's the point of that? And like open like that, like they have big parties. Like it's not even like some dudes in a basement or some shit. Like it's like out in the open, and then their women just stay like, is that what you're okay with? Like, come on, it's terrible. Anyway, back to this. The uncle had the worst. He was handsome boy with green eyes and had a natural innocence that was palpable when around them. He unfortunately more the men loved that most. That the most. According to the youngest one. The boys all woke up. According to the youngest one, before the night they escaped, they had just finished dancing. They escaped. He had just finished. He had just finished dancing in front, dancing for the first time in front of a group of 30 men, 30 smoking men, all holding rifles. Okay. His owner sold. His owner, who had bought him a week early from his poor mother, and who had and who also was his older brother, and who had also one mother. Who had also sold the older brother a few years earlier. A few years. A few years earlier to be a Bacha Bazi boy. His owner who had bought him a week earlier from his poor mother, also sold his mother, who had also sold the other brother a few years earlier to be a Bacha Bazi. His owner had bought him. His owner had bought him a week earlier. He crowded around the dance floor, trying to attract the variety of young boys that were there to dance for them. His owner bought him a week earlier from his born mother, who had also sold the older brother a few months earlier to be a Bacha Bazi boy. Wanted to go. The owner called him to a back room. Called a young boy into a back room where two adults were exchanging money. We're exchanging money. We're exchanging money with something horrible. Something horrible. We're exchanging money. The young boy noticed a heavy erection on the man paying the money. He looked over to Smile at the boy. The boy's owner accepted the money, and the two other men began to laugh and handed the money to the owner. The boy's new owner offered the other two a cigarette to celebrate the transaction. Until that night, the boy was only groomed. He was dressed nicely. He was dressed like had first choice food at the house, at the compound, and was told to bathe regularly and brush his teeth. No adult had attempted to even kiss him, just flirtations that made him uncomfortable. The young boy did not want. The young boy began to sweat, and flashes of what would be happening soon pulsed in his brain. How he noticed the three men in heavier conversation. The new owner yelling about the payment. When the young boy sees potential rapist. I'll take that out. An AK-47 appears near him and leaned against the wall. A vest with magazines and grenades sits next to it, and without a second thought, he quickly grabs it, points it at the group of men, and pulls the trigger. couple times, but it's more than enough. Two of the men are holding their abdomen in a growing pool of blood, and his former owner eyes stare lifelessly at him. Alright, I can think of this part. Lifelessly at him. He makes his way to the main room, not yet. He makes his way to the main room where the 40 men gunshots and were but due to opium laced cigarettes they had all avoided investigated the noise. The three other boys are frozen, but are the first to see the young boy, the rifle, and magazine pouch, and tactical vest. He had to have grabbed another one. He grabs the former owner's rifle and loads the vest with two more magnums. Makes his way to the main room where the 40 men had heard the gunshots, but due to opium-laced cigarettes, they avoided to investigate the noise. We're hesitant. That's the word. resistant. Alright. The three other boys are frozen, but are the first to see the youngest. With the rifle and tactical vest. The boys ducked. The boys sprinted towards him, and right as they passed, the young one had a clear shot and began to shoot at the panicking pile of men. I gotta take out the other rifles. And had all left their rifles in another room. We gotta take out the other with their rifle. With the rifles were in another room, so I'm gonna say that they were unarmed in there, which they probably, in real life, why would you? Like, oh, we're gonna see a little boy dance, but we're not gonna have a rifle. Plot hole, but we gotta go with it. I'm tired. Alright, we're gonna take a break. 35 minutes. Not the best. But we expanded on this, exactly what I wanted. So, I wanted to talk about the Bacha Bazi party a little more. Not the boys were escaping rape. That's why we're rooting for them. Anyway, I appreciate you guys if you guys stay this long. And, yeah, no one watches these. So, anyway. Love you guys. Bye.